My name is Sam, one of the lost boy. I was born in a village called Ler in Southern Sudan. Approximately, I left my country when I was 7 years old. That's what I can say, because I really don't know exactly if that's true or not. And the reason I left home was because there was a civil war in Sudan, and we were forced to leave our villages. But mostly, I take the story of the lost boy in a different perspective, because I call myself a child soldier, because I was forced, because I was the only boy in my family. They told my parents that you go to school, but they were taking me to the military, and that was the goal behind it. So we were forced. We walked 1,000 miles going to Ethiopia with other boys, thinking we were going to school, but we were going to the military camp. So we got to Ethiopia in roughly 1989, 90, and we were placed in a camp called Pinyadu. So approximately like a year later on, the military guy, like the militias, the people who force us away from our parents, would come demanding us to be taken to camp training. I happened to be one of the boys who outsmart them because I still look small, and I did my own smart way by pretending I'm sick every day. Every time they come, I feel like I'm sick, but emotionally I was outsmarting. So, and then we lived in Ethiopia for 3 years, and never gone to school. But most boys, the strong ones, were taken to go to the military. And some of the boys actually would do some funny stuff. If they're big enough and they're short, they will stand on a stone so they can look tall, and people will pick them when they go to the military. Because if you have a gun back then, you can survive than just being in a refugee camp. And then 1991, the Ethiopian regime started fighting themselves, and we were forced again. We walked back to Sudan. We crossed River Gilo, but many of us died because some of us could not swim, because we came from a country where it was not easy for us to find rivers where we can go and swim, because we were also young. And many of us died. Thanks God, some of us survived. So I made it. So we came back to Sudan to a place called Pinchala. That's when I started going to school a little bit. Because in Pinchala, our blackboards that they use is like, I don't know how to say it exactly. It's like a wood, like made out, and the chalkboard is from a charcoal, because we can see, because it's white, and then we write with a charcoal, and we are not enough teachers. We go to school like an hour a day, and only like people who have class 3 primary level are the ones that were teaching us. And many of us will write on the dirt, because those are the only papers and pen we could find. So the pen was my hand, and my book, or my notebook, was the sand. So we put the sand, you make math, and you do everything in it. So thankfully enough, we came to Kenya. We walked, and then 1992, I started my real English, started in a good class, and we lived in Kenya for 10 years. Life in refugees was harder. Some of us finished primary 8. I went to secondary school, you call it Form 3, which is like 9th grade or something here. And later on I went to Form 4, but I didn't finish my final exam. So
give me a day in the life at the refugee camp. Tell me what you did.
In the refugee camp, I started to realize myself the things that I know, things that I miss from home. Like start playing sport, and start acting recreational drama, and start going to church a lot, mostly, and attend cultural dances. We would travel from refugee camp to places called Lodwar, just to go and act in theaters and something like that. So, and I start in debating club, like just to keep myself fresh, so that when I go home, I just don't become fresh. So I did a lot. For me, life was a little bit okay in such a way, like keeping myself active and all those kind of stuff.
So give me a day, like you wake up at what time, and then you do what, and then you do what, and where are you sleeping, and when do you eat? Like, tell me that.
In the camp, I would wake up 7 in the morning because I can walk to school. The classes start at 8. I wake up 7 in the morning, wash my face if I could find water, and then walk to school, and then come back like noon later on, and then go back in the afternoon again to school because they always give us, it's like siesta time, so they give you time, and that is Monday through Friday. And then on the weekend, personally, I would do like the things I say, like drama and all those kind of stuff. And that was just life at the camp. And 2001, because after the United Nations found out, okay, life with these young men, they're here alone, they are unaccompanied minors. Some of them graduate from primary school, there are no jobs, and they can't go back to their country because there's still war. So they decided that the immigration with the United Nations, with the UN, with the USA, made an agreement, so they gave us a free resettlement, legal resettlement. So we start interviewing, and many of us write their life history, and I happen to write my life story. So, and the best question that I remember that I think in my mind made me pass, and I know every lost boy had, is because I told them when I go to the United States, I never know about it. I want to be educated. I want to go to school. That's what I want to do in the United States. And I feel every day maybe that's the reason why I got a chance to come to the United States. Yes, in my own opinion. So came to America in 2000, roughly around 2001 in August. I learned a lot in this country than I had, but I had experience, and I know everybody do experience everything. We always have a culture shock. My first experience was when I got to JFK at the airport. We sat down, we were waiting for a connection to Phoenix. So I asked a young lady, I said, where is Tyler? You know, that's how we call it, or something like that. He's like, excuse me, because he could not hear what I said, but it's in, he said, okay, restroom. I said, okay. So I walked, and when she said restroom, what came to my mind was a translation. Rest is where when somebody died in my culture, it's called cemetery, they put in her to rest. So I was thinking, why should I go there when people are in rest and they're in there? So luckily I walked in and a gentleman came out and I asked him, sir, is it good in there? Does it smell? And then he laughed. He said, yeah, we use something called perfume and it's really smelly. Because in my mind I thought this is a place people are dead. Why should people go to restaurant? So I walk in there, I was afraid at first. I look at it, it's clean and it smelled great. So I knew, okay, nobody's dead. I sat down, I did what I did. Before I walk away, it flashed. And then I was like, yes, someone is waking up from the dead. That was my first experience. So that was from JFK. And then there's so many, like, lights in this country, like things that I see sometimes. When I first came to Phoenix, I couldn't tell whether it's day or night. Because coming from a country whereby it's tough to get those kind of stuff. And luckily, you know, I learned to it and I still confused. And my first caseworker dropped me off one day and she waved at me and did this and I walked to her and she said, no, I'm sending you bye. And I say, when you say this, like, come, you know, like those kind of signs. So, you know, now I don't have all those kind of experience anymore. So I lived with a foster parent. Was a guy called Mr. Love. That was his name. He's a Jewish. He was 73 years old. No, 73 years old. He still worked, got his full-time job, and he was living with his granddaughter, and I moved in with them. So when I moved in with them, and I decided I need to go to high school, he said no, because he's my first month with him. He's like, no, you just need to go to university straight away. I said, no, I need to go to high school or something like that. So we argued, and he's like, okay, he took me to school. He told him he wanted to sit his GED so that we can get him to go to college. But I wanted to finish my high school things to finish it. So I went and set my GED. I passed mine, and then I told him, okay, I need to go to college. But before I came here, I actually wanted to be a priest. So then there was a Catholic school in Iowa, said, I heard about a school in Iowa. I think I need to go. They said, what is it? And I told them it's a Catholic school, and I really want to go to seminary. And he gave me an opportunity. He said, yeah, go, try it out. He said, I don't see priest in you, but he said, go, try it out, something like that. So I went there. I went to school for a year. It's called Divine Word College. That's the name of the school. So 1 year later, I decided it's not something I wanted. I take an excuse of saying Iowa is cold, I cannot take snow, so I moved back to Phoenix. And 2006, I enrolled at Phoenix College, got my 2-year, and then 2006, let me roll back. Yeah, 2006, I transferred to ASU, graduated 2008 with my bachelor's in justice study through law. And right now I'm working my master's. Yeah, so.
And where are you working?
I work at a law firm called Mexico Wicks, and my title is called Legal Customer Services. That's like a big title we do. We do like customer services, like when client comes in, we the first to approach them. We first to hear their problem before we get them a lawyer and all. And we do a lot of scanning job, like DVDs, and just pretty much stuff that secretary and lawyers have no time to do. So the things we do. I work for 3 law firms for the past of my entire life in the United States. Now, coming to why we doing this. We're doing this because my visit back home, when I went back home, I had a culture shock too, because things look different, and they should be different, because I left home when I was a young boy. I saw it that I personally believe there is nothing important than giving a child education, especially in my country, where everybody is zero in things that the world is enjoying coming to education. I had my own sisters, they all been married, but I have little ones that I've grown. When I went home, I had acquainted myself with them, get back and get to talk to them, but it broke my heart that the child is still denied education. So we, the community, the members of our Dok, is a little village in Southern Sudan, decided, okay, much has been given to us, like everywhere, whether in Kenya or all, even though it's like not good, but in this country, we need to give back. So instead for us to ask people, this is what we're doing, we started ourselves by contributing $10 a month, so that we show the world this is what we did, but we need your help. So we believe if we build a school, especially girls and young men, they will learn, they will educate their things for themselves, and then they will compete with the world instead of just being where they are for centuries. Things that our parents never had, but we had it like now, a person like me. We don't want our young nieces and nephews not to have education, so that is our goal, and that's why we want this. We are committed to it, and I'm really, really happy with the leadership of the adult community. They're really doing a good job, and it's voluntarily. We sometimes call off just to go to the meeting, and sometimes we give up our days off just to do this. So it's really something we are committed to it. It's not just we saying it.